So this is week 6 of our Vineyard group on our autumn term of 2022. This week, so the topic of the term is life in being risen with Christ, and what it means to be risen with Christ. So we've had all sorts of topics up until now, the first 5 weeks. Last week we did about kingdom values and how we exist in a place of abundance and not that of scarcity. This week we did something a little bit different. Instead of having like a topic for discussion and going through a theme, such as inheritance or kingdom values or whatever, basically we kind of did a guided meditation or a guided prayer in a way. So the idea here is that you just sit and listen to me telling a story, and just shut your eyes and kind of be a part of the story and see where it takes you and see what happens. Really, this is just another way of experiencing God. Often people either read the Bible or they pray, and those are kind of like the two ways that they engage with God. But the former pastor we had in Ipswich, Paul, gave us an example of what we're going to do today, where he said, imagine that you're part of a scene in the Gospels. So for example, Jesus going into the temple and overturning the tables of the money changers, or Jesus confronting the crowd who want to stone the woman caught in adultery, and kind of imagine yourself as part of the scene. So this is sort of imagining yourself as part of the scene, but it's not a scene from the Bible. So, but it does have a spiritual significance. So, okay, so if you want to kind of travel along with us, shut your eyes and have a listen and see what happens. You are in a car travelling to a mysterious destination. You recently received a letter from your solicitor advising you that an inheritance had been left to you, and a car would arrive to take you to a meeting where you would be given more details. The journey has been long, and always through back roads, through villages, past fields, and you look out of the window, gazing at the passing countryside. It's a beautiful day, and you relax and start to think about how the letter intrigued you. You recall how you contacted your solicitor to see that everything was above board, and they confirmed they had done all the necessary checks and advised that you follow up on the letter. So here you are, having already travelled many miles in the back of a luxurious old car, on your way to the meeting. The driver, although very polite, is unable to give any further details, so all that remains is that you sit back and wonder what lies ahead. You continue to pass fields, rivers, villages. You are pleased that you had a good breakfast, having been advised the journey was a long one, and eventually you shut your eyes and drift off to sleep. When you awake, it is starting to get dark, and the chauffeur notices you have woken up and says, "Not much longer now." You look out of the window and see you are still passing through the countryside. You pass a field of sheep and look up and see the moon is starting to appear in the sky, although it's not yet quite sunset. By the time the car turns into the long drive of an old country house, you are feeling hungry and a little tired. As you pull up outside the beautifully elegant and well-kept chateau, your anticipation grows, wondering what will come next. The chauffeur opens the car door and you step out. You have travelled light, not expecting to stay the night. The large door to the house opens, and a well-dressed butler invites you inside with a kindly smile and says, "Good evening. Will you please step this way and follow me?" He leads you into the old house. The lighting is quite dim, but still light enough to see. After walking down a long hall, he arrives at the top of a wide set of elegant stairs. Surprisingly, they lead down quite some distance, turning round and round into the floors below. The butler slowly descends the stairs, and you follow, noticing a lot of old paintings lining the walls. Although you don't pay too much attention, you think they are probably pictures of the family going back generations. The stairs go down some distance. Down, down you go, following the butler's slow walk, until finally he leaves the stairs and heads off, still walking slowly, down another corridor. At one of the doors along the corridor, he pauses and opens it, inviting you inside. The room is large. It has a roaring fire, which keeps it warm and provides much of the light to the room, apart from some lighted candles on a long table over to one side of the room. Someone is sitting near the fire. As you enter, the butler announces you. "The visitor you were expecting, sir." A beautiful young man, elegantly dressed in his early 30s, leaps up from the chair where he was sitting to greet you. "Thank you for coming. It was very kind of you to accept my invitation. I hope you had a good trip." As he approaches, you look into his eyes and feel an incredible energy and life there. You feel strange, like he is an old friend. He smiles warmly and says simply, "I'm Jesus." As he speaks, he opens his arms and you both embrace warmly. You feel a power about him that is unique. There is something about being in his presence that makes every cell in your body tingle with excitement and joy. He gestures towards the table and says, "I'm sure you are hungry. Come, we have food prepared." Feeling dazed by actually being in the presence of Jesus, you wonder if you are dreaming, but everything seems so real. Well, you think, my hunger certainly is real, and even in the excitement, you feel glad to sit down and eat. Jesus joins you at the table and you eat together. He's entertaining, funny and generous, the perfect host. You feel like he's the best person you could possibly spend time with. He explains the purpose of inviting you here is to show you more about what life with him is like and what the inheritance he has given you means. For example, all the pictures on the walls of the family you are now a part of, they're all your relations, come from the Bible. Abraham and Elizabeth, Isaac and Rebekah, Jacob and Rachel, Ruth, David, Elijah, Esther, Daniel, Peter, James, John, Mary and Martha, Paul, Mary Magdalene. They are all there. Each door of this mansion is special. Through some doors you can meet your ancestors and relatives, go and share a meal with Abraham, or sit with David as he watches his sheep. Through other doors you can spend time with Jesus when he was on earth. Jesus says, "Come with me and meet the woman at the well. Sit and listen to the Sermon on the Mount. Come and enjoy the wedding feast at Cana. You can even come and visit me as a baby and help Mary give me a bath." Through one very special door, you can be with me at my crucifixion and stand at the foot of the cross with Mary. But you can also go to the empty tomb and be with Mary Magdalene when she meets me in the garden. There are also doors which open into heaven, where you can join me on my throne or join the angels in heaven in their spectacular praise and worship. Why do I invite you to all this? Because I want you to know me just as I know you. I am with you always. I feel all that you feel. I want you to learn about me and know what I went through too, and where I am now. Come and visit often. After the meal, Jesus invites you to sit with him by the fire. He says, "I know you are troubled with many things. Sit with me, look into the fire, and tell me all about them." You both walk over to the still roaring fire and sit together, looking into the dancing flames. Somehow it makes things easier as you look into the flames to tell Jesus all your troubles. As you speak, he puts one arm around you and holds your hand, giving it a squeeze when you get to some difficult events. He listens as you pour out your heart to him. At one point he leans his head in and holds you even closer to him. After a while you fall silent and you both just sit together. You realize, having told Jesus all your troubles, you feel different, lighter. Jesus says, "Let not your heart be troubled. You believe in God, believe also in me." Then he whispers some special words into your ear, words that are full of wisdom and beauty, weighty words that sit with you, words that you will remember for a long time. The words of Jesus fill your heart with peace and give your spirit strength. As you sit together, you feel better, stronger, more positive than you have for a long while. Jesus says, "This is your mansion that I have prepared for you. Come here whenever you want to spend time with me. I am always here for you." There are many other rooms we can go in. There are beautiful gardens we can walk through, and so many different people we can meet. This is a place where you can find peace, my peace that I give to you.